Hey, Davrin. We gotta talk about Solas's magic memory thing.
What? Why?
Why didn't you tell me you were a spirit?
Because I'm not.
I thought we were friends.
I'm not a spirit, Taash.
Is that because people might think you're a demon? Because I'm from Ravane. We're okay with spirits.
But apparently not with listening. I am not a spirit.
Hey, you don't have to be ashamed of who you are.
Never said I was, but thank you, Taash.
Rook, when's the last time?
You've been quiet on your collaboration with the Venatori.
They were only useful for information or the occasional artifact. The rest of the time, the intolerable wretches kept going on about their wine cellars and summer houses.
They sound akin to some of Navarra's nobility, to be honest.
Depressing, isn't it?
Coin for your thoughts.
I'm fine.
Oh, there's an act for the road.
I'm just a little worried about everything. But we're gonna be fine, right?
We don't know that.
Very comforting.
We'll manage something. Might even make it out alive.
Slightly better.
I try.
I thought you were going to threaten me if I heard Neve.
Sorry?
Before, when you asked if we were seeing each other.
Oh, definitely not. Neve could wipe the floor with you if she had to. So no need for me to threaten you too.
True.
The Dalish prisoners escaped safely?
We got them away free and clear.
Good. Your time with the Veil Jumpers probably taught you some of my history with our people.
A bit. Dreadwolf.
Whatever my frustrations with them, it was a privilege to be able to help our people again. Thank you for allowing me to help. Chance to infuriate Elganon was a reminder of simpler times.
You and Elganon were really tearing into one another back there.
I needed to goad him to anger in order to distract him. But yes, while all of the Evanuris were monsters in their own ways, Elganon was the worst. Or perhaps it is more honest to say that his were the faults I've found most objectionable. You have met him now, heard his voice hammering at the doors of your mind, and you have met me. Can you see how he and I might frustrate one another?
The way the two of you argued, they didn't feel like enemies. They felt like family.
How so?
Family knows you better than anyone. And that can be good or bad.
I had not thought of it that way. But yes, we had centuries to stoke the fires of our hatred. I saw his rise to tyranny coming, and could not stop it. And he saw me disrupt his plans for dominion time and time again.
All right. I can see how you and Elganon would hate each other.
He has always been what I most feared becoming. Callous and uncaring, his arrogance unchecked. To have that much power and no one to remind him that he could be wrong.
Well, he had you.
And I suppose I had you.
You said you found the Dalish frustrating. Why is that?
It is unfair to them. I lived for thousands of years, and after I imprisoned the Evanuris, I slept for thousands more. I awoke in a world that had forgotten the ancient times almost entirely. And those who tried to remember Elven history, like the Dalish, had gotten so much wrong.
I suspect them calling Elganon and Gillenane and all the rest gods didn't go over well with you.
Indeed. To see that the history the Dalish worked so hard to preserve was the propaganda of tyrants was vexing. I tried to explain the truth to one clan. When I convinced them that I was truly Fen'Harel, they attacked me. After that, I hid my explanations behind the facade of having witnessed events in the Fade.
And the Fade is the realm of dreams. Hard to present that as evidence.
Yes. The Dalish had no reason to believe me. I could only watch as they continued to worship Elganon, though we may have seen the last of that tradition, at least.
We would have had a hard time getting out of there without your help.
I did not spend this long preparing you only to lose you to Elganon's machinations. No, I am sorry. That was poorly said. You have earned better from me.
Okay.
When we first met, I saw you only as a foolishly confident child who disrupted my plans. You were an irritant. I gave you information to oppose Elganon out of necessity, but I expected you to be nothing more than a tool. Seeing you with your team, I was wrong.
I'm impressed you got that out without choking on it.
If I could not admit when I was wrong, I would be no better than Elganon. Your team trusts you, and you listen to them. It is impressive and enviable. It took me centuries to build such a bond during my rebellion, and when I served the Inquisition, I tried to avoid entanglements.
What about the Inquisitor? Does she not count as a friend?
She does. One of several I grew fond of, despite myself, when I was with the Inquisition. There was also Cole, the spirit of compassion I helped adapt to our world. He was the only one who knew who I really was. I miss him a great deal. Josephine, the Inquisition's ambassador, was a bastion of kindness and decency in a world that looked down on elves and apostates. Even Cassandra Pendergast of the Order of the Seekers. She was what a believer should be. Faithful, practical, committed to serving, not ruling. I suppose I did bond with the Inquisition after all, as you have with your team.
Thank you for sharing that. So, what comes next? What are the gods going to do?
Elganon and Gillenane are preparing the dagger they will use for their ritual to pierce the veil. Elganon's power is tied to light and darkness. He will need to perform a ritual during the next eclipse.
That gives us some time to prepare.
It is likely to be your last chance to do so. You must be ready for whatever comes, for this world and for the team that trusts you. I know that you will do everything in your power not to fail them.
So now Elganon's recovered his own archdemon, and the gods only need an eclipse to complete their dagger.
We saved the Dalish, though. That's important.
But now Elganon's immortal. so long as his archdemon lives.
And we all know how hard those things are to kill.
We killed Razikale, didn't we?
After losing hundreds of wardens. And it took a centuries-old trap to do it. We don't have either of those. Not anymore.
Just when you think the tide's in your favor, it turns right back.
Okay. We always knew this was gonna be hard, right? And yeah, maybe it's a little harder now. More than a little. But either we stop this, or all of Thedas falls. So we see it through. All the way. Because no one else is going to.
Nice speech, Rook. But it's hard to complete a contract if you don't know where the target is.
We found the gods before.
Not without help, we didn't.
So we get help again. We've got allies everywhere now.
I can think of a few options, but I'm open to suggestions.
Wardens have run dry. Nothing new is moving in the deep roads.
And the Veil Jumpers couldn't find any trace of Elgranon or his archdemon.
The crows may have something. The Antam are moving large quantities of supplies out of the city. Weapons, armor, gatlock. And food. About half are remaining provisions. Enough to feed the Antam navy.
Given the timing, it seems unlikely to be a coincidence.
Wherever those supplies are headed, that's likely where we'll find the gods. Any more details from the crows, Lucanis?
They said the Antam have long work ahead. We have time. Also, Biago would like a meeting. At your earliest convenience. From him, that means important, but not yet urgent.
We've got options for what we do next. Figuring out where the Antam are taking those supplies should put us on the gods' trail.
Not to complicate things, but the Inquisitor also wants to meet Rook.
Right. With everything she's been doing in the south, we owe her an update.
I'll let her know.
Today could have gone better. But it could have gone much worse. We fought off the Venatori and rescued the Dalish. That's a win by any standard. Rest up, and be ready to go. Next time the gods appear, let's make sure it's the last.
I wish I could get moving. I hate being stuck in here.
So you're a skull now?
I refuse to explain my condition yet again to one of Volkaran's roommates.
I have my own room. Hey, is a skull still called a corpse when you're just a skull? Okay, I'll ask Emmrich.
All right, say we take down Elganon's archdemon.
Hold on. You're talking about winning? Aren't you more glass half empty?
It's hypothetical. But say we win. Last archdemon, isn't it? And a monster that big. Where do you go after that?
Wherever Hassan takes us, let him lead for a while.
Lucanis, the dream where you're being chased by monsters?
Is it the one where you feel like you're stuck in mud? Or the one where you just cannot avoid them?
It was the first one.
My legs would only move at a snail's pace.
That one's not as bad as the one where I climb a wall and they're already at the top.
So,
Yes, indeed.
elves came from spirits.
An incredible revelation of what happened thousands of years ago.
I asked Davrin what he thought, and he just shrugged.
He would.
We'll practice form next. Hey, Antoine. Evka.
I can still hear it. Though it is giving me a headache.
Please be careful.
With the container? It's very sturdy. I tested it.
What? When? And how?
Am I interrupting?
No. Our study of the new blight continues.
We know the gods changed the blight. We think it changed more than they realized, or altered itself after.
It's answering to something other than gods.
So the rules change further. The world's never as stable as people believe.
A veil jumper would know. We should trade stories sometime.
So what's the blight answering to?
Remember the strange call I heard after the Lavendale battle? It was here, in the wetlands.
We think the source is out a ways, towards the redoubt.
I can tell it's something large, rooted. A construct of the blight itself. An eruption controlling the rest. What that could mean. Everything that calls the blight impacts the wardens. We withstand it. But gods, archdemons, it all adds strain.
If the eruption calls the blight, then it could mess with us too. Spark the calling sooner. We'll lose ourselves, along with the wetlands.
Should you have told me all this about the calling?
First Warden would have said no.
You're our friend. You chase archdemons and fight the blight. It seems fair you know what this means.
Antoine, you hear stuff in the blight, more than some of the others. Are you...
Yes. A little sensitive, but it's not calling to me. Not yet. Like everyone else, I'll know when that changes.
So how do I help?
Figured you'd be in. Remember those samples you found when we first arrived? Based on our studies, Antoine made an alchemical flame. It's impressive. It should destroy the eruption.
Theoretically. At least the last batch was stable. Mostly.
But if the eruption's controlling the blight and it gets attacked, then the blight around Lavendale might respond.
Yes, its roots are everywhere. And spreading. I can feel them.
These people can't lose their blight experts. I can go after the eruption.
While we guard against nasty side effects here.
Stay safe. Or as safe as you can.
I've no fear when Evka's at my back.
You've always got me.
The blight poisons so much. Water, plants, animals, people. Some would call the wetlands dead already. But they're not. It's not too late. Whatever the eruption means for the wardens, we can leave this place better. It's what we're supposed to do.
We'll take our stand in the sheltered glade. Meet us there when you're done.
Watch your head.
I don't have a good feeling about this place.
I mean, me neither, but we need to keep going.
A barrier. I bet the eruption's on the other side. We'll need to cut off the tendrils to break through.
Kill a bunch of dark spots. Got it.
All right. Better move before more darkspawn show up. Tendril. It's attached over there.
Up there! That ledge! We can destroy the tendrils from there.
A ballista.
Could be useful.
We're through.
Okay, good. Let's see what's ahead.
What is that the blight eruption?
That's messed up.
The darkspawn are protecting it. We need to take them out. Let's go! Let's get that eruption. All right, we strike and the whole thing goes up. All right, time to destroy this thing.
Have you seen Harding?
They aren't blighted. Were they dormant?
Maybe. They're beautiful. Much like you. Ah, Rook, hi!
We knew when you hit that eruption. The blight around Lavendel reacted. And there was a sound in it. Like nothing we've heard before.
What happened in there? What was it like?
I'm just glad I wasn't alone in there.
I can imagine. Many deserve thanks today.
When the eruption was destroyed, some of the bigger tendrils pulled back. The remaining blight won't vanish overnight, but it's a good sign. And this place opened up.
The flowers here, they managed to survive, buried, untouched. They have a chance to return now.
Oh, that's incredible. I wasn't expecting flowers.
It's what we're here to do, to make this possible again.
We thought the Grey Warden's purpose would end when the last archdemons died.
And that time's almost here. It's unbelievable.
The Order is those of us left now. When the archdemons fall, some wardens will hang up their swords. Until they're calling, at least.
So the wardens are finished?
No, our numbers may get smaller, but Evka and I will be here. Others will stay too.
There's still blight in the world. There's something new calling to it. And to us.
There's blight inside us too. If it changed out there, have we changed as well?
What matters is that if new evils show up, we'll be here to keep them back.
Are you doing okay with all this? Really?
Don't worry, I'm good. I've got everything I need right here.
Me too.
Do you really think something inside you has changed?
It's possible. Or maybe we're the same. But does that mean we'll be the same? You can't sense the blight. But trust us, it feels different. And the sound is changing too.
As for what it means, it's like Antoine said. We don't know yet.
I'm sure you'll be fine. But if there's anything I can do, just say.
Of course. It's good we answered your first letter. And it didn't catch fire.
What?
It may have come close to an explosive, but we all met in the end.
The blight feels relentless most of the time. We see what it does up close.
A world dying, how it spreads. But we keep going.
And look, these flowers can make it back.
They really can. And they're beautiful.
I think so.
Lavendel was named for flowers. They must have been everywhere before. When we get back...
We can stay here a bit longer first.
Oh, yes. I thought I heard birds earlier. Maybe we can find them?